everyone, Brad here, and welcome to this video where I want to just talk about Colorcraft and where Colorcraft comes from and why I started it. So obviously I am the founder of the business and want to tell you a little bit about my story and why I started it and where we're going and what our core principles and values are, what we stand for. But I started in home services, man, it's been like over a decade. When I was in university studying finance, my first job while I was a student was a painter. I got hired to be a painter, and it was one of my favorite jobs I ever had. I used to run a crew, and it was a productivity-based system. So the whole essence of that is you got a certain number of hours as a budget for a project, and then you go with your team, and if you beat that budget by whatever amount of hours, they would divide it out and figure out the productivity rate, and then your earnings would go up. Your wage would increase with your productivity, so it would just get multiplied by your productivity rate. And I loved it. It was like one of my favorite jobs. I had a small crew. It was just me, and I had two painters who I coached, and we just crushed it. And I would just go all summer crushing jobs and then go back to university. And that was my first couple of years of university. That same about three years later, my third year university, I was like, I'm going to start my own painting business. And right when that idea was coming up, I got recruited by a franchise company called College Pro Painters. And I was like, oh, do I want to do it with them? I don't want to pay royalties. Maybe I'll just go on my own and I can do better. And I thankfully ended up deciding to go with College Pro Painters. And it ended up being this incredible entrepreneurship experience and learning about business and the fundamentals of business. And the whole essence of that company is that it was a entrepreneurship development company for young people, and they used painting as a vehicle for their growth. And that's exactly what they delivered. And so that's kind of going hand in hand with my university studies. I started doing business, and I started my own business as a franchise. And it was an incredible experience. From there, I did that for several years, learned about all the basics, and then I went on to start a national franchise company. So I was the first franchise investor in a home service brand called Shackshine. And I did that for about 6 years, built all the base operating systems with the original founder of the company, and we built up a brand from nothing, which eventually got acquired by a larger company called O2E, who are the founders of a company called 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And they bought it out, and I was with them for a few years until I eventually moved on, and I came back to my roots. So I really, through the comparison, obviously they're both home services, but in the comparison of the two, I just enjoy the craft of painting more. I like the transformation a lot more. So I came back and I was like, I'm going to start my own franchise company and be the person who builds all the systems and builds all the tools for others to use. And that's where Colorcraft is born from. And we embody a lot of the same spirit, which is Colorcraft is a place for people to come, learn, and grow, and talk about life and learn tools and skills that we're going to need for our lifelong journeys. Many of us won't end up in the painting business, and that's okay. But through this business, through this vehicle called painting, the home service of painting homes all over the local region and like in the various cities, we get to learn so much about each other. We get to deliver transformations for customers in our communities, and that's what I really liked. And that's still what I like today. I actually started Colorcraft right at the start of the COVID-19 global pandemic. And the reason I actually started it was because I wanted to, especially at the time, come back to a service where I could be out face-to-face with people in a time where everyone was isolated. And I wanted to actually just get out into the world, get outside and talk to real people for my own mental health and sanity, because I'm very extroverted and I like people a lot. So that's why I started Colorcraft. Is like I want to get back out into the communities in this time where you're in many ways encouraged to stay home and not meet anyone, which I knew wasn't going to be the best decision for me. But in 2019, I sold Shackshine, took about a year, not even a year, 6 months off to just rock climb. I'm an avid rock climber. And then, but not before long, I was like, I want to go back into business and started up Colorcraft. So let me tell you a little bit about Colorcraft. If you're watching this video, you might be on our team. or maybe you're just wanting to learn about who we are and where we're going and what we're doing. But our mission really is together to realize our potential and to actualize our dreams. And that's for both our internal teams as well as the dreams of our customers, who the homes that we're helping them to, build and create. So that's kind of the purpose of the business, is to really accomplish that goal. And our vision is really to expand, especially in the lower mainland of BC at this time, is to onboard 4 or 5 franchise partners who are going to help to create a really great community and be leaders in the communities where we can all grow together. That's really what I'm trying to create, and I'm having a lot of fun with the journey, and I want as many people as possible to come in and join in that journey. In this video, I want to talk about our 10 principles, though. So these are the 10 founding principles, or values, some people call it. These are like the boundaries of what help us stay focused on our journey towards our vision as a company. So I have my laptop here so you can follow along with me, and I'm just going to go and talk about what each of them mean to me. All right? So, first off, when all the players within the business are pointed in a singular direction, moving forward with aligned clarity of values and their unique contributions, friction will vanish, efficiency will accelerate, profits will rise, talents will peak, and the team will become more loyal. Each person more and more invested in the vision. So our purpose at the business, like I mentioned, is together realizing our potential and actualizing our dreams, right? So this is a vehicle for us to come learn about entrepreneurship and business, and like any business, it has all these fundamental things that no business can go without, right? Marketing, sales, recruitment, team building, production, like delivering an outstanding actual final project, which in our case is painting houses beautifully and with perfect quality, and making sure the experience for customers is really good. This is all part of that realizing our potential, and then using this as the platform where we can talk about our greater dreams in life. What do we actually want beyond just business and making money? I'm, like I said, a rock climber, and that's my passion for my life. So as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship creates the freedom I need so that I can live my passion. And those are the kind of questions I want people on our team to be asking. So that's what it means to me, together realizing our potential. Like I mentioned, our vision statement is we want to be doing $5 million per year within 5 years, delivered by 5 local franchises run by 5 community leaders. So that's the vision statement for the business. That's a succinct summary of a full vision statement that I've written out about what I want to create. And it could change over time, but that's kind of the first steps for us, is that we want to get our whole local area developed and be the clear brand leader for our local area. And right now we have 2 franchises, and in the following couple of years we're going to be bringing on 3 more. And I want it to just be a group of local leaders so that we can actually have fun together, go on trips together, and do business together. That's kind of my vision. Our mission statement, which is kind of the how-to of how we're going to attain this vision. So our mission at Colorcraft is to be the clear brand leader for professional painting services in the lower mainland of BC. So that's kind of the how-to guide of how we plan on attaining our vision statement. And our guiding principles is what we're going to jump into right now. So here are our guiding principles. I've got it framed here. This thing sits on my desk, but it's our purpose, vision, mission, and our guiding principles all summarized. So I'm going to go through each of these one by one here. But principle number 1, client success is our success. Leaders earn trust and treat a client referral like gold. So this is not my first rodeo starting a brand, but especially at the start, but really forever after. Making sure your clients are successful with their choice to hire us, that is the number 1 most important thing, and number 1 most important value to be always keeping top of mind. It's all about making sure the clients are getting what they need and us delivering on the promises we make when somebody trusts us with a project. Some of these projects are $10,000, $15,000. So really we need to make sure they feel successful with that decision. That is principle and value number 1. Value number 2, play the long game. Rome was not built in a day. Make short-term sacrifices for long-term success. So you have to think long-term. You have to make investments for the long term, and you have to be building with the understanding that it takes a long time to build something great, right? You don't just build a great painting company or any company in 2 years, 3 years. It takes time to develop good systems. It takes time to develop content that's going to be useful and valuable for the people that need to use these tools and for all the different leaders on the team, right? That all takes time, so we need to keep that approach so we can patiently and confidently build towards the long-term vision. So play the long game. That is our principle number 2. Principle number 3, incremental improvements and continuous training. Leaders ask themselves, are my fellow employees growing? So to me, this means that we don't have to be everything all at once, but we do need to be continuously improving everything, not everything, but improving day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. It's all about incremental continuous improvement. And when you have that understanding of slowly getting better, there is a compounding effect. It's really interesting, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years, and we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year. And the reason that happens is because it's hard for the human mind to really understand the impact of compound effect. But if you just have continuous improvement and training for all the people on the team, and you're continuously developing leaders, this is how you grow any business, and Colorcraft is no exception. So that's principle number 3. Principle number 4, focus and simplify. Do more with less. So I have tried to play the game of having lots of B players and people that are kind of invested and people that kind of care about the mission, kind of care about the values. And in my experience, it's not as effective. What I'm looking for is people that are on the same page as me and people that want to grow and they want to develop and they want to learn. They're lifelong learners. And with a small group of people who want to accomplish more and have more impact on their own accord, it's more fun and you actually get more done and everyone makes more money. So less is more. We don't need to have just tons of resources and then use them inefficiently. I'd rather have things maximize on all of our equipment, maximize on all the resources we have, maximize on the people that are on the team. And that's what this principle is all about. Do more with less. Simplify and focus the efforts. Principle number 5, extreme ownership. Own what you're responsible for delivering. So this principle is all about taking ownership, not blaming, internalizing accountability so that we can learn from our mistakes and actually grow together. So taking ownership for what you have been assigned to and taking ownership for the job that you have taken on, right? Every job has deliverables, things that when you sign an employment agreement, there's deliverables specified what you have agreed in your agreement, your employment agreement that you're going to deliver to the company. You need to own that. And that, to me, has been something it's a long-term journey for me, even just realizing how much ownership is involved by starting a company. I have to take ownership over everything. Every mistake that everyone on the team, I have to take ownership of that, and that is something that I had to learn because at the end of the day, that's the only way I actually stay in control and can do something about the world, about the business, about our direction. So that's principle number 5, extreme ownership. Empower leaders, principle number 6. Develop leaders, give them tools, and let them solve problems. So this for me is, I love this one because it really keeps me focused on my job. My job is, as the owner of the company and kind of the CEO position, is to create the tools so that everyone can be effective at their job. When I was, this is probably 5-6 years ago, I read a book about management, and they had done a long-term study from all the largest companies. And there was a few things that stood out as the most important things people need as employees of companies and regarding their work. Number 1 is people need to know what it means to be successful at their job. How do you know if you're doing a good job? A lot of people don't actually know what success means at their job. It's pretty crazy, right? That should all needs to be specified, and that's up to the leaders to do. Number 2 is where it gets addressed in this a little bit. Once you know what it means to be successful at your job, you need to be given the appropriate tools to do that, to actually be successful at your job. And that is a big part of what my role is as the leader, is to provide the tools so that everyone can effectively do the job that they have been assigned to or that they have agreed to delivering for the company. So if you have leaders on the team and you've recruited well, that's what this principle is all about. Bring leaders into the team, give them the tools they need, and then let them go and do their thing. Let them solve problems. Don't micromanage and interfere. Once people have their stuff and they're the correct person, just let them do their job. That's what this principle is all about. Principle number 7, celebrate the journey. Have fun. So much of entrepreneurship people are chasing, and this has been true for me, where it's like I'm always trying to get somewhere other than I am. And what I have come to learn is that you never finish creating, you never finish building business. It just keeps going forever. And so it's all about enjoying the process of creation and celebrating the journey. So when you hit milestones, really celebrate it with your team and appreciate the other people on the team who've contributed to those milestones. And that's really what this is about, is having fun and creating, and that's something we never want to forget. And that's why that's a principle that we embrace at Colorcraft. Principle number 8, radical transparency. If we're serious about learning and growing and developing as people and as entrepreneurs and as business people, we need to be radically honest with each other. Gentle, but honest, right? You can't just... That's the only way to actually be able to look at yourself and reflect on things correctly, is to be totally honest, not just with yourself, but with team members, and not with the intent to harm, but the intent to grow and help each other. That is a key principle. So radical honesty and transparency, even when it might hurt, right? A little bit hurt up front, but then you can take it and embody it and change and grow from it. Principle number 8. Principle number 9, deliver results. So business isn't fun if you lose money and you don't stay in business. In order to stay in business, the end of the day comes up. My degree is in finance. The end of the day, it comes back to the money. You do need to deliver results. You do need to do what you say you're going to do. And so it's very important that we track things by the numbers and not be fluffy, right? This is what got accomplished by the numbers. So that's a very important principle for a growing business, is don't ever lose sight of the numbers. Know thy numbers. Principle number 10, think big. Small thinking self-fulfills. We inspire with big and bold. And this is not just with the business. This has to do with everything you're doing in life, right? Make sure that you are thinking big and pushing your comfort zone, your beliefs and your comfort zones within your mind to create the things that you truly desire. And then let's encourage each other to do this. Think big. I said a vision statement at the start of this. That'll be the first of many vision statements. It will grow and it will expand. And by the time I've achieved that vision, there will be a whole new vision. And that is why it's so important to celebrate the journey, is because by the time you get to one vision and one milestone, you've already got a whole new set of stuff you got to do. So it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So think big, think bold, celebrate the milestones on the journey. And that is principle number 10, to top off our boundaries and what we're all about as a container to support us in our mission of being the brand leader, the brand leader and the clear choice for painting in our region and in our communities. So if you're joining the team, welcome to Colorcraft. That's who we are. That's where we're going. And if you have joined the team, I suggest you print this thing out. It'll be in the Google Drive Resource Center, and put this on your desk, and this will help keep you in direction with everything. And there it is on my desk. I just literally slot it there on my desk, so I'm always reminded of what I'm actually trying to accomplish. So when things get hard, I remember what I'm doing. These are some of the action items, things you can ask yourself. So ask yourself, contemplate the company's purpose statement. So I don't know if that's even asking yourself, but just take some time to contemplate it. Review and contemplate the company's vision statement, right? Do you want to be a part of creating this vision? Review and contemplate the company's mission statement. Is this a mission that you feel like you want to get on board with? Review and contemplate each of these principles that we stand behind as a team. Feel into each of them and then let your coach know which of these 3 principles resonates with you the most. So if you've just joined the team or you're rewatching this and you're already on the team, you can just keep doing this. Which one of these stood out to you the most that you're like, yeah, totally, I'm into that value. That principle is totally what I want. And maybe notice which ones that don't resonate with you the most, right? Take the time to get this deeply embedded into your personal DNA. That's what will create the most purpose as you embark on this journey. Anyway, that is it for this video. And like I said, think big.